Hello and welcome back to Cross Cultural and Global Communication. I'm Yogesh and I'm here again with Lily, our intercultural expert and co-host. Lily, how are you today?
Doing well, Yogesh. I'm really looking forward to today's episode because we're tackling one of the most foundational concepts in cross cultural communication: high context versus low context communication styles.
Yes, this is such an important concept. It shapes everything from how we interpret messages to how we build relationships, resolve conflict, and make decisions.
And understanding this framework can prevent so many misunderstandings, especially in global teams where people assume others are being vague or overly blunt, when in fact they're just coming from different communication norms.
Segment 1. What are high context and low context cultures? Let's begin with the basics. The high context versus low context concept comes from Edward Hall, a renowned anthropologist. Lily, can you explain the difference?
Absolutely. In high context cultures, communication is nuanced, layered, and heavily dependent on shared experiences, nonverbal cues, and implicit understanding. Much is unsaid, and people are expected to read between the lines.
And in low context cultures, communication is much more explicit. People say exactly what they mean, and clarity is prioritized over subtlety.
Exactly. So, if we were to give quick examples, Japan, China, and Arab cultures are typically high context. The US, Germany, and Scandinavia are typically low context.
In high context settings, it's often considered polite not to say things directly. But in low context settings, not saying something directly can be interpreted as being unclear or evasive.
Exactly. That's why something like, I'll try my best in a high context setting might actually mean, no, I don't think I can do that. But it's said in a way that maintains harmony.
That's right. Segment 3. Characteristics of low context communication. Lily, now let's look at low context cultures. What defines them?
In low context cultures, words carry the full meaning. Communication is explicit and direct. Transparency and clarity are valued. Rules often matter more than relationships.
So, if someone says, I disagree with that idea, in a low context culture, that's not seen as aggressive. It's just part of healthy dialogue.
Yes, and that's important for multicultural teams because direct feedback from someone in a low context culture might feel confrontational to someone from a high context background.
That's really right. Segment 5. Real world examples and misunderstandings. I coached a team recently where the US members kept asking their Indian counterparts for updates, saying, just give us the status straight. But the Indian team felt pressurized and micromanaged. They were trying to be polite and deferential, but it was misinterpreted.
That's such a classic example. I've seen similar tension between German and Japanese teams. Germans were giving very blunt feedback, which shocked the Japanese team. But once we explored the high versus low context dynamic, it became clear it wasn't disrespect. It was just cultural wiring.
It's amazing how once people understand these patterns, so much confusion melts away. Segment 6. Shifting styles. Can you flex?
One of the big questions we get is, can people shift between styles?
Yes. And in fact, the best global communicators are culturally bilingual. They adapt based on the audience.
Like, for example, when working with a Japanese team, I might use more indirect phrases like, that's an interesting perspective, to express mild disagreement rather than saying, I don't agree.
And when I'm working with Scandinavian or American clients, I'm much more direct. I state my opinions clearly, even if they might be uncomfortable, because that's expected.
It's not about being inauthentic, it's about being effective and respectful in different cultural contexts.
Segment 7. Practical tips for listeners. So, what can our listeners do to navigate this high context versus low context divide?
First, know your own style. Are you a direct speaker or someone who uses hints in cues?
Second, study your audience. Do they value clarity or subtlety? Are they relationship-driven or task-focused?
Third, adapt your message format. In high context cultures, maybe use more metaphors or layered meanings. In low context ones, be clear and to the point.
Fourth, use feedback loops. Ask people to paraphrase what they heard. That can help you spot misinterpretations early.
And finally, don't assume miscommunication is personal. It's often just a style mismatch.
Final thoughts. This High versus low context distinction is one of the most useful tools in cross-cultural communication.
Yes, it gives us insight into how people prefer to share meaning, and that opens the door to more empathetic and effective dialogue.
Thank you, Lily. Well said. And for our listeners, in our next episode, we are going to explore something closely related: language, translation, and interpretation challenges. Even when people speak the same language, meanings can still get lost. If you found this episode of Corporate Communication useful, don't forget to join us leadershipacademy.tagbizsutra.com. Do share it with your friends and colleagues and leave your review. Until then, keep noticing how people communicate, not just what they say.